Alright guys, so what I have here is another episode of the School of Bart. I built this model several years ago, and I updated it yesterday by adding this fish shape to it because it's a little bit more visual for everybody. And especially this is for you know, relatively new members of the BOB who are fishing Bart for the first time. And we do have several new members. Some guys won bids recently on Bart's who had emailed me over the last several months asking how they could get a Bart lure. And so I included them in the emails regarding recent auctions. And 2 or 3 new members have joined us, and I'd like to say welcome to all of you. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Bart. For you guys especially, I want to demonstrate what I call the School of Bart. I want to demonstrate the difference between a vertical hook set, which is our natural reflex, you know, when we're bass fishing, a vertical hook set versus a sideways hook set. And I built this model to demonstrate this. And a lot of the existing members of the BOB have seen this demonstration before, although not as fancy with the bass shape on it. I just had a block of wood and my lure. What we have here is a bass, you know, going through the water and minding his own business. But then all of a sudden the bass hears something. What is that? So he becomes very curious and slows down and listens, basically feeling with his lateral line the vibrations from this curious thing, whatever it is. What is that? He's wondering. So what happens is it's your Bart lure is in the water, you know, and you've got Bart up there twitching him and making him rattle, and you know, Bart is in the water. Let me get this up closer now. And what happens is the fish comes up and sees Bart, feels Bart, hears Bart, and strikes Bart. And the wire here that you see, this wire represents your fishing line, which is attached to the end of your rod. Am I right? So the bass rises up, takes Bart, and your natural reflex is to set the hook vertical with your rod tip straight up in the air, and you pull the rod up to set that hook. And watch what happens to the hook. Your line is more or less parallel to the water surface in the beginning, and when the fish hits Bart, right away you go to set the hook and you pull up. You go rod, you know, you go vertical with your rod. Boom, and what that does is you see how it makes the hook pivot down and away from the roof of the mouth. You go to vertical hook set and watch the wire up with the rod tip, and look where the Bart lure goes. The hook of Bart is down away from the roof of the mouth. I'll try to do this like in slow motion. The fish rises, takes the lure, and right away your knee-jerk reaction is to raise your rod tip to set that hook, and look where the hook goes, down and away. Look, down and away from the roof of the mouth, and from there can easily pop out through the fish's mouth. Now let's take the same scenario. You know, you're fishing along, your line is pretty much horizontal to the water surface, and a bass comes and takes the lure. Now let's go where you do a sideways hook set. The line stays pretty much, you know, horizontal to the water surface, and you do the sideways hook set. Look where the hook goes, sideways. It stays up on the roof of the mouth, sideways. See? I'll do it slow motion. You get the hit, sideways hook set. You get the hit, sideways hook set. The hook stays against the roof of the mouth, and in fact, if you look at the 3 bass that I just posted the video on, 3 bass, 3 minutes, 3 ponds, Bart, you'll see that all three of those bass, I used a sideways hook set, and all three of those bass, the barb of the hook was right up in the roof of the mouth in all three cases.
Got him. Alright. It's a nice fish too, guys. It's a nice fish. It's not a giant, but hey. Look at him, hooked right in the upper roof of his mouth. Homemade Bart. Got him! Nice fish, nice fish. It's a nice fish, guys. Bart. Sewage from somebody's soaping. Oh. Got him right out of the poop. Guys, I don't have my scale. It's broke. He ate Bart. He's got Bart right in the roof of his mouth. Ow, man, this fish is big.
Vertical, pulls the hook. See what happens? The lure rocks, and the hook goes down away from the roof of the mouth. You know, and guys, that's the main reason why most guys that are frog fishing, you know, your hookup percentages are less than they could be with any kind of topwater lure, especially frog lures, is because most guys knee-jerk, without giving it any thought, vertical hook set, and it rocks the lure in the fish's mouth and makes the hook rotate down and away from the upper part of the mouth, and then it can come out. So that's one reason, a main reason, why frog lures have such poor hookup ratios. You know, you have your good days where you catch 7 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 strikes on a frog lure, but then you have your bad days where you're just a little off, or you're not paying attention or whatever, and you never can quite put your finger on it, but you're only getting 50%. You know, half of the fish that hit you, you're getting them to land them, you know. And the reason mainly is because you're using a vertical hook set. And that vertical hook set is rotating the hook down and away from the roof of the mouth, and then it's easy for the hook or the lure to pop out during the battle. The sideways hook set, see, keeps the line more horizontal, and all it does is it drives the hook against the side of the face, inside the mouth, and up into the bony plate. Sideways hook set. Your sideways hook set will give you the highest hookup ratio for any topwater frog lure, including clatterbred lures. So I highly recommend the sideways hook set. See that? Slow motion, sideways hook set. The barb of the hook stays right up on the roof of the mouth versus the vertical hook set rocks the hook downward away from the roof of the mouth. Vertical. Hook goes down and out. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's the School of Bart for today, for everyone, and it doesn't matter what type of frog lure you're fishing, if it's a hollow frog or a soft plastic frog. If it's a hollow frog, guys, I want to go on record again, as I've done many times, and recommend 2 makers of hollow frogs: Snag Proof or Southern Lure Company's Scum Frog. Those 2 hollow frogs companies are among the earliest, and I think were the first companies to make hollow frogs. When I was a kid, I was fishing their lures. They catch fish, but mainly they're made in USA by American workers. Support American made. I know Coppers and Lunker Hunt and all of them are making some cool looking frogs with legs and everything, but guys, they're all made in China. You're supporting Chinese workers and the Chinese economy, and you're hurting the American economy. I don't care what anybody says. They have all kind of ways to argue to make it sound like you're still supporting America, because American tackle companies are vending, vendors for the Chinese products. No, support American made. If you're going to fish a hollow frog, make sure it's a snag-proof frog. Those are great people at Snag-Proof. The owners are a family, a brother and sister team, or maybe more than brother, maybe it's brothers and sister. But it's a family operation and always has been. And they're made in USA by American workers. In the same way for scum frog. They're down in like Missouri or somewhere like that. And those are great people. Support Americans who are working to support their families, okay? And if you're going to fish a soft plastic frog, Z-Man. It's the only soft plastic frog you need. Z-Man products are made in America by American workers. They're located in North or South Carolina. I can't remember which. Good people, and their soft plastic frogs, especially their hard leg frogs, I recommend that one, or their Ultra Mouse if it's still available. Those two lures are made from their Elastec polymer. The stuff is indestructible, has great action, good buoyancy, and it will outlast any other soft plastic, soft frog you can buy. So recommend Snag-Proof, Scum Frog, or Z-Man hard leg frogs, okay? If you fish those lures and you use a vertical hook set, as I showed, you will rotate the hook this way and get the hook away from the bony part of the fish's mouth or its upper lip. If you use a sideways hook set, the hook will embed itself much easier into the lip or upper bony plate of the fish's mouth. The big fish I caught the other day that had 8 Bart and it was down his throat, the hook of Bart was right in the roof, the bony plate of its mouth. And if I didn't have braided line, TUF-LINE XP, also made in USA by American workers, if I didn't have that braided line, the teeth of that bass would have cut my mono, no problem. I would have lost that fish and been crying about the one that got away. As it is, I had another stellar moment of a poop bass caught in a stinking human poop mat in a tub. Thank God, because I had TUF-LINE XP braid on, and that bass with its sharp teeth was all over that braid, and it had no problem landing that fish. 20-pound TUF-LINE XP braid. That's my go-to braid. But anyway, the sideways hook set got that lure strongly hooked in the roof of that fish's mouth. Deep down its throat, but up in the bony. I mean, this is what you're looking for. Pay attention, guys. This is important. School of Bart. Sideways hook set whenever possible. When you're fishing from the bank and you're standing around trees and overhanging branches are in your way and shrubs and marsh grasses up in your way, try to position yourself when you can so that there's room to do a sideways hook set. Because if you're going to go vertical, sometimes you have to go vertical. When you're going to go vertical fishing top water, you're going to have a 50-50 chance of hooking up the fish that hits you. You could have the hit of your life. It could be the biggest blow up you ever had. And that vertical hook set could cost you that fish. Try to set up, try to get yourself in positions where you can use a sideways hook set. And if you can't and you're going to have to do vertical, then you're going to have to roll your dice and take your chances. That's the School of Bart. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and bass wishes.